Hey guys, this is an updated build order. This is after the patch, so the Byzantines have gotten 50 more starting stone, a couple of nerfs with Triumph and Cataphracts, but we've gotten 50 more starting stone, which is actually pretty impactful in terms of what you can do for your build orders in the opening. Previously, we were kind of doing a fast H2 into a second cistern from there. Now with this 50 additional stone, we can do the same build and get that second cistern up for free without macroing any villagers onto stone. Or we can do this variation, which I'm going to show you guys now, is that we're going to start by taking, selecting all of our villagers, sending them onto the stone, grabbing two, I guess first we're going to queue the TC up, start your villager production, then select all of your villagers, queue them to the stone, send your scout out to scout, then grab two of those villagers to drop a cistern. One of those villagers builds the mining camp, and that villager who does stay and build the cistern is going to shift queue a house, and then he's going to build the second cistern, which you should have enough of because the other 4 villagers that go and collect 1 trip of stone and then get back onto sheep are going to give you enough to do this. You're going to sacrifice about 15 seconds on your age up time to H2. So this means that basically your first horseman doesn't hit at 4:45 anymore. He's hitting at 5 minutes. So there's a little bit of a delay, but there's still a window there to deny any fast castle or second TC plays, just enough to delay it. So you don't sacrifice too much, but you are getting an additional 80 resources by the 4.5 minute mark, and this kind of compounds. So it's I think it's going to be a pretty strong opening, and it's a better version because we have that additional stone, and it's more feasible now because now we can actually just do 1 quick trip and go on to our normal macro and only sacrifice about 15 seconds. So we're going to go ahead and test it out, and you guys can see it. And yeah, we'll just go from there. Where's my gold? There we go. Let's drop this house here. Get these villagers queued up. I do like to stick on the short side of the map. You do want to like pick up sheep where you can, right? But if you go too far on the scouting, you do need to be back at a decent time. We're on a different side here, so what we're going to do is going to shift our villagers onto the sheep, and then we're going to garrison them, and then we're just going to mash D, and that's going to allow us to get out of this a little bit faster. And then we should have enough resources here to connect our cisterns. And then he's going to finish that and get under here. We're idling our scout. That's a little bit of a mess up on our part. Definitely don't want to do that. We have 4 villagers grouped up here on our control group so they can drop the hippodrome. And the idea behind this this quadrant build too is it's really tight, and then you can expand to a 3rd and 4th cistern relatively safe. And typically I like to drop my hippodrome in between my 2 cisterns so I don't have to toggle them. I can just switch one to research, but in this instance we're not going to be able to. But it's not a big deal. We'll drop our hippodrome up here. Eventually our T3 cistern will catch that upgrades. There isn't a lot of upgrades to really catch anyways. So for now we're going to rally villagers onto wood. So we have 9 on food, 2 on gold. Let's get our... Oh, there's a sheep. Right now I'm not doing my scouting really well. It's definitely a little bit of a mistake. You definitely want to be really proactive with your scouting and get good timings with your scout, because your scout does actually lead to some pretty important it's important that it gets back in time because oh my gosh, I messed up there. He's really important that it gets back in time because otherwise your villager will go idle there like he did just there. So again, a little bit of a mistake. Not the cleanest variation of this build, but that's okay, we'll just go with it. Another thing some people, or like you can do, is just do 8 villagers on food so that doesn't happen on that idle time. But the timing for your age up and your hippodrome, like or not the timing, but the dropping of your resources is a little bit tighter. So you guys go here, what I like to do is select one of these villagers into a separate group, and these 3 are going to come over here. They're going to build this up independently, and then so from here the build order is pretty much done, and then it's kind of like having to read your opponent and see what they do. But what I like to do here is take these 3 villagers, and we're going to shift queue them onto this mining camp, and the one solo villager is going to come over here to the middle, and we're going to go tower our opponent's base. Now this doesn't always work. I also have one villager too many on wood. I like to only go 4 villagers on wood, and we went up to 5 this time. So a little bit of a mistake, a little bit of overgathering. So we might be a little bit short on our wood, or on our food here. So something to keep in mind, when you are at 18 villagers, you need to drop a house here, so you don't get housed. You do run into our opponent's base. Okay, we're going to come around. And so now we know where the gold is, and so that's where we're going to go hit with our villager as well as our horses. So we're going to just requeue this and come over here like this. Okay? And we're trying to get up to 12 villagers minimum to keep the hippodrome and the TC going fully. You can also go, instead of 12, you can also go 13. But from there you need to transition back onto wood because you will be starting to suffer in terms of your infrastructure. So queue up our horsemen, get this going. We can also get our border settlements. It's also a pretty good upgrade to get. And these 3 villagers are going to be taking care of our cistern macro. But I pull down once I have enough for a 3rd cistern, I'm building this what am I trying to say here? Besides just going dumb. There you go. Getting a mill out early is good too. Get the expilatories upgrade. Switch to research on a cistern. Get this. Once I get enough for the cistern, I'm gonna pull down pull a villager off a stone. So after he drops this, so we just drop this right here, and the idea is that we can be able to deny our opponent, right? We're on 12 villagers on food right now. We're gonna drop one more. I want to drop one more house. I'd like to do it up top. So I'm gonna drop this, and he's gonna come build a cistern over here, and then he'll connect these. Drop an extra scout over there. We can go raid. And part of this is to be able. We want to be able to hit this as well. And we didn't get our house up, which is a little bit of a mistake, but we do have our upgrade. So the housing, we're able to just reduce our time housed significantly this way as well. You can get our triumph. You can see it's a little bit weaker than it used to be. Yeah, we're already running out of triumph, which is pretty nuts. And then we just take this fill. So that's pretty much it. Like that's the whole build. And then from there you just kind of rotate. Like I'm over macroing onto food right now, so I'd pull like probably 2 villagers here and go onto wood. But yeah, the idea is that 12, 13 villagers pull onto there. Preferably this mill gets caught by my upgrade, so my wheelbarrow comes through a lot faster as well. So I'm just gonna surrender real quick, and then we're just gonna go over it. While I play, I can't really talk. Not very good at doing that. So we're just gonna look at the build with a little bit more calm. Okay, we'll quit out. So pretty sure it's this one. That was a Chinese base, right? I think it was a Chinese base. Anywho. So it's a bit of a trade-off on your timing, but you're getting a lot better I have a lot better start on your resources. I don't know if this was it. This is not it, right? Oh, maybe it was it. Let's go check it again. Let me get to see real quick. Because I did a couple, but some of them I messed up. Yeah, okay, this is it, I think. It wasn't that French one. Okay, so immediately we're grabbing 6 villagers, queuing them onto the stone. Or immediately we're grabbing our TC, queuing up villagers, sending all of our villagers to stone, and then we're selecting our scout. So it really helps keep that macro or the micro clean here and not lose too much time. Then we pull a villager to drop 2 villagers. We select 2 and they drop the cistern. One of them I grab and I split them off to go build the mining camp, and then this one I shift queue, I house afterwards. And I'm rallying onto the sheep here. If we look here, they are on the, we're going to pause real quick. You see that they take their shepherd's canes out, so this is just a TC hop. So what I'm doing is they're coming back to drop off their stone, so what I do is I right click onto the sheep, and then I hit G, and they all garrison, and now that they're garrisoning, I'm on my TC and I'm smashing the D button. Not the C button, hit the D button. To just ungarrison them as they fill, and they just immediately drop out and are starting to collect. So they save about, I don't know, probably 3-4 seconds of time. If this happens, sometimes your stone is on the other side of where your sheep are gathering, so probably like 80% of the time. So it's important to do that. You're going to save a little bit of time on your build. This villager, after he's done with the house, he's going to have enough to drop the cistern. He's dropping the cistern, and then he's going to connect these, and then he's going to go drop off the not drop off, gonna go start harvesting gold here. Let's go to villagers spread. We're at 8-1 right now. Gonna be up to 8-2 technically, and we're gonna go up to 9-2. And there's one villager doing things is costing time, but compared to my so when I do my tests, I compare this time to build this is the same amount of time as it is for me my fast age up to build it. So this time isn't actually accounted for in the equation because it is, but it's the same as if I'm doing it post age up, right? If I rush my age up and I do it afterwards, it's just it's the same amount of idle time, but a little bit later, right? And they're both technically being done at 1 cistern bonus, so it's not one's more than the other. So we're rallying villagers onto wood. Again, we don't do this like exactly. I mean, you can vary here as well because perhaps you don't want to drop a tower. Perhaps you want to drop infrastructure first. Perhaps you're going to drop tower and infrastructure. There's a lot of things that can happen. You don't know what the matchup might be, so it's important to keep those things in mind. We're going to drop the hippodrome with 4. I would like to personally split 3 of these guys onto stone, and one of these guys is going to go build a tower. This one guy that builds a tower can also build a tower defensively if you have to. If we're playing, say, another Byzantine player and he's got hippodrome aggro, I'd rather have a tower here or a tower on my stone to be able to defend, because technically the cistern will help aggro try to defend these villagers if I have to. Or let's say I'm going against a French player, not a French bot. Instead of dropping that tower, I'm dropping a barracks, right? And behind my rating, I'm building spearmen to protect my base. At which case, I'm going to macro even more villagers onto food past the 12 mark. I'll probably go up to like 16 before I rotate onto wood, but it's dependent. So the idea is to get 4 villagers onto wood, right? And then from here, rally villagers onto food till you're on 12. Drop a second house here with a villager from gold, and you're going to stay out from being housed now, and you're going to have a good amount of gold to be able to get upgrades, whether it be your border settlements upgrade, your expilatories upgrade. You can even get eco upgrades if you feel like you need it. Do try to prioritize the wheelbarrow on a mill here. And it's got a lot of... And in general, the Byzantines have a lot of flexibility. But this build has a lot of flexibility because you're not committing to that third cistern macro until post age up, and so you're going to be able to get your aggro out in a little bit better timing. If you macro for the third level cistern, you are going to be even later, and so sacrificing 15 seconds I think is a lot better than in other instances. And now in this specific iteration of this build, our age up time was a little bit later. It's probably because the stone was really far and we walked a little bit further. And as well as our cistern building, might have been a little bit off. But in some of my tests that I've ran, I've gotten it my age up to be finishing at 415 and such. And this variation that happens is variation that happens in a lot of builds. So even if you do like even if I had done fast feudal, just straight fast feudal, I think I would still have this same variation in terms of my age up time, right? It would instead of being a 355 age up, which would be my ideal, it might have been like a 420 age up, which happens, right, because of RNG type situations. But one thing is, if this RNG type of situation kind of happens, you have the double cistern eco to kind of help keep you in a good spot. So that's it for this build, guys. From here, it's kind of, the game is up to you what you want to do and what you read. Big thing is the scouts getting back out there and getting good info and reacting properly from there. But you with this build, you have your eco set up in a way that you can basically keep that hippodrome going constantly, keep your townsend going constantly, and you have a good enough wood macro to drop the infrastructure that you need. And this villager is walking across is a lot of idle time as well, right? So if he stays in base and you play a little bit more defensive, is also another thing too. So that's it for this build, guys. I hope you like it. If you have any comments and things like that, let me know, or if you try it out, and just let me know how it goes for you. And yeah, thanks for watching.